This video will cover battery replacement on a 2017 Prevost X3-45 coach. When working on and around AGM batteries, proper PPE is required. These include, but are not limited to, the use of safety glasses and appropriate gloves. To prevent possible electric shocks or sparking, the main electrical shutoff switch should be in the off position before disconnecting the cables. This switch is located on the rear bulkhead of the rear J-box. In addition, trip main circuit breakers CB2 and CB6 located inside the rear junction box. Further information on battery replacement can be found in the Prevost Maintenance Manual, publication PA 1621, section 06B. To gain access to the battery area, begin by opening the AC compressor access door located in the right rear of the coach. If needed, the main engine door can also be opened for additional illumination. To remove the battery cover, depress the lever on the latch and lift the cover away from the batteries. The white cap in the right corner of the cover is a vent. The cover has a tether cable to prevent accidental removal from the bus. There is sufficient room between the batteries and the engine cradle for the cover to rest. Once the cover is removed, you will see that the battery cables are formed to prevent misconnection. A decal under the battery cover shows the cable connections in detail. The frames on the ends of the battery assembly are dual purpose. First, they provide a sealing surface for the cover, and second, they act as a pass-through for the battery cables. The frames are not attached to the batteries with any hardware. The cable connections are what hold it in place. To remove the batteries, we begin by disconnecting the ground cable. Ensure that proper PPE and tooling is being used. Once the nut on the ground post has been removed, set aside for reuse. If nut is damaged, replace hardware. Refer to CatBase for proper part number of hardware. With the hardware removed, the cable and pass-through frame can be removed and set to the side. Following the removal of the ground cable, the other battery cable connections can now be removed. Once loosened, the mounting hardware for the cables may remain attached to the cables, or they may come off. This is a normal condition. Set hardware aside for reuse. If hardware is damaged, replace hardware. Once the cables have been disconnected, they can be lifted up and set to the side. Once the cables have been removed and safely stowed, you can remove the battery hold-down straps. There are identical hold-down rails on the front and rear sides of the batteries. Remove the hardware and set aside for reuse. Remove the anchor bar and the battery hooks and set aside. Note the protective cover on the inner hold-downs. The structure of the battery box floor has been modified to allow for easy removal and installation of batteries. There is no lip on the battery compartment floor. As such, the batteries can easily be slid onto a lift table. This eliminates the need for lifting heavy batteries into this position. When working with batteries, whether AGM or conventional lead acid, it is recommended to perform an inspection to ensure that there is no damage to the battery casing, to include any bulging of the sidewalls. If any of these conditions are found, the battery should not be installed. Before installing the batteries, confirm the post configuration. The battery pole arrangement has been laser cut into the battery compartment floor for easy identification. The installation of batteries is the exact reverse of the removal. A lift table makes this process much easier. Reinstall the battery hold-down anchors and ensure that all of the battery hooks are in place and locked into the hold-down rail. Ensure that the hold-downs with the protective sheaths are installed between the batteries. If the sheath is missing or damaged, replacement part numbers can be found in CATbase. Ensure that the hold-down rail is positioned securely against the battery case. Reinstall the hardware and torque to specifications 45 to 55 inch-pounds. Before reinstalling the cables, ensure that the contact surfaces are clean. If they are dirty or show signs of corrosion, clean using appropriate means. If the cables are significantly corroded or otherwise damaged, they should be replaced. Refer to CATbase for part numbers. Once the batteries have been securely mounted, the cables can be reattached. The pass-through frames set down on the battery hold-down rail on 2 alignment pegs. They aid in the alignment of the frame. Once the pass-through frame has been properly seated, the battery cables can be installed. The cable installation is the exact reverse of the removal. Once installed, torque to specification 170 inch-pounds. Once the positive cables have been reattached, attach the ground cable. Make note of the alignment pegs on the support frame to ensure a proper fit. Once installed, torque hardware to specification 170 inch-pounds. Once the installation is complete, reinstall the battery cover. For further information, refer to Prevost technical publications, techpub.prevocar.com.